African indigenous vegetables, as amaranth, nightshade, spider plant, and cowpea, are locally adapted and easy to grow and provide supplemental income for farmers. Consumed as vegetables, their tender leaves and shoots are rich in proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins, and essential minerals. Various parts of the plant can be used as medicinal herbs for their antioxidative and anti-inflammatory properties. Aphids are the most common pests of nightshade, amaranth, and spider plant. Aphids feed by sucking sap from the undersurface of leaves and flowers and cause leaves to curl and turn yellow until drying out and flower malformation. Aphids produce honeydew, which at high densities causes sooty mold and attracts ants that defends aphids against natural enemies. Aphids attract predators such as ladybird beetles, predatory bugs, lacewings, and hoverflies. Other natural enemies include parasitic wasps and fungal pathogens. Nightshade and amaranth are often attacked by spider mites, particularly during hot and dry weather. Spider mites cause damage by piercing young leaves and shoot tips to suck sap. Mite symptoms are clusters of yellow spots on the surface of leaves that appear chlorotic and give damaged leaves a speckled or mottled appearance. At high densities, mites produce webbing at the plant top, reducing plant growth, flowering, and fruit production. Predatory mites are the main natural enemy of spider mites, but also ladybird beetles, predatory thrips, and some predatory bugs. For amaranth, caterpillars are serious pests, feeding on all stages of leafy vegetable growth and development. Cutworms feed by cutting and destroying the base of seedlings. Moths typically lay their eggs on the underneath surface of young leaves, where developing larvae can feed on both surfaces. Young larvae feed by rasping the plant surface and chewing holes of irregular sizes and shapes in the green foliage. Some caterpillars feed by mining and/or boring through leaves and stems. Mature caterpillars generally descend from the plant to the soil to emerge later as adult moths. Natural enemies include ladybird beetles, lacewings, predatory bugs, ants, birds, parasitic wasps and flies, and pathogens. A major pest for spider plants, flea beetles are small, shiny black beetles, sometimes with brown markings, which conspicuously jump when disturbed. They feed on the undersurface of leaves, leaving symmetrical shot holes in the foliage that can cause serious damage when beetle densities are high. Natural enemies of flea beetles include ground beetle predators, braconid wasp, and tachinid fly parasitoids, fungal pathogens, and vertebrates such as toads and birds. Wild birds and domestic fowl destroy young plants and new growth. Other insects found on traditional AIVs include bagrata bugs, stem weevils, whiteflies, stink bugs, thrips, crickets, leafhoppers, leaf-feeding beetles, and grasshoppers. But these insects rarely cause serious problems on a consistent basis. Not all of the pests are found on all of these crops and depend on the crop growth stage. Establish field plots in a location with fertile soil and no nearby trees that can harbor birds. Before planting, plow and harrow the field to remove weeds and to destroy potential caterpillar eggs. A diversified landscape with flowering plants provides habitat and food resources for insect natural enemies. Healthy plants are key to defending themselves against pest attacks. Choose varieties that tolerate pests and start with quality seeds. Ensure that plants are well fertilized. Over-fertilization leads to aphids. Not enough leads to spider mites. Irrigation should be done regularly to prevent plants from wilting. Over-irrigation leads to fungi. Not enough leads to spider mites. During the rainy season, wider plant spacing reduces fungal infestations. Crop rotation is also important. Continuous cropping of nightshade or spider plant can lead to root knot nematode infestation. Scouting should be done weekly to monitor for pests and natural enemies. To monitor randomly, select a dozen plants per 100 meters squared and count the number of insects or damages. Consider treating the crop if pest populations continue to increase while natural enemies remain static or decline. Pesticides are commonly used by farmers to control insect pests. However, reckless use of pesticides can increase the risk of toxicity to the farmer and their farm, and cause resistance development in pests such as aphids and spider mites. Overuse of pesticides also suppresses the natural enemies that can help in management of pests. When using pesticides, follow the product label instructions completely to assure proper use. Pests may be managed using proven traditional methods that have existed for many years. For instance, aphids can be treated by applying wood ash evenly on infested parts of the plant. Spider mites are disrupted by overhead irrigation or spraying with a strong jet of water to knock them off the plant and destroy their webs. Caterpillars can be removed by hand from plants or the surrounding soil and destroyed. Plants that repel, for example onion and garlic, can be planted to help keep pests away from AIV crops. Amaranth can be planted as an intercrop or used in a crop rotation to control root knot nematodes. Natural or commercial neem solution is an effective biopesticide and repellent. It has a broad spectrum of action and it can reduce caterpillars and cutworms, as well as aphids, spider mites, and flea beetles. Fungal pathogens can also be used to manage aphids and spider mites. Sticky cards are glue-based traps, often yellow or blue in color, used to monitor and trap a wide range of insect pests that move about easily in a field. Place sticky cards every 15 to 30 feet throughout raised beds. Monitor the trap every week. Consider treating if pests increase more rapidly. Insect-proof netting has proven effective in protecting vegetable crops against pests in sub-Saharan Africa. The nets create a barrier that prevent insects from gaining access to crops. Nets are made from a transparent net with a mesh size of 0.4 to 1 millimeter and are draped over an iron or wooden frame. Netting barriers over seedlings can be particularly effective against pests. Use of synthetic pesticides should be considered as the last option when managing pests. They are potentially toxic to the farmer and the environment, and harmful to natural enemies that help reduce insect pests. When using pesticides, follow the label instructions to avoid pesticide overdosage. Aphids are easily managed using products like acetamiprid, pyrimecarb, and cyfluthrin, and spider mites are managed using abamectin and imamectin benzoate. Spinosad can be used for caterpillars, while permethrin and pyrethrin can be used for flea beetles.